Hi Piers, I've watched your Netflix style episodes and I'll be honest, I've fell in love with how you teach and your techniques. I'm struggling to get my first SA due to not having a company. That's been going on for 3+ years and references. How do I overcome this issue? Well, listen, thank you so much for coming back to this video. Now, Raheel, firstly, mate, thank you so much. I know you watch my videos, I appreciate you watching my videos, but thank you so much for reaching out to me on Facebook. Now, sometimes I forget, there's little bits and bobs in the industry that people struggle, especially if you're starting, and I'm glad you reached out to me in regards to telling me how you enjoyed the Netflix episode, like style episode that we've done about direct booking. So again, you're going to move into the phase 2 of securing the unit. You want to get those direct bookings, and I'm sure that that video itself is going to put you ahead of 99% of people. But also love the fact that you've gone straight in going, well, it sounds like you're good at finding deals, but you're having that issue again regarding your company being brand new and not being able to pass referencing when you're investing on an Airbnb business. Now, I've got a lot of people who watch from States, United States, Australia. For you guys, what that SA basically means is service accommodation. Obviously, in your guys, on the country you invest in, it might be Airbnb arbitrage, short-term rental properties, whatever it is, it's getting that first property and referencing through an agent or a landlord. So in this video, it's going to be short and sweet. I want to talk to you exactly how potential scenario works, and by the end of this video, you'll have a lot more better understanding about referencing. Understanding letting agencies referencing. So firstly, look, if you're new to any referencing processes, you're probably thinking, oh my God, I don't have a company. How does referencing work? Now, over the years, we've gone through different scenarios of my clients, trying to secure unit, and just me being, you probably watched some of my videos previously where I was a letting agency, so I understand how referencing works. But more also importantly, to talk about how referencing companies, there's separate referencing companies that work with letting agents or landlords to go through your application, your lettings application. So again, something that you might find different is how, what a lot of people who watch my videos are generally people who are looking to start, right, or scale their short-term rental. And even after you've got your first unit, you might still be thinking, oh my God, like how do I go about again going through the same hurdle? So by having this conversation with letting agents, now what I'm going to do today is let's crack on with some points, some scenario that you potentially go through, and whatever I say in this video would potentially guide you to have those conversations with your letting agency and landlords. And guys, it's great fun when you're understanding the processes. It takes a lot away from you and worries and stuff. You can just walk in, you understand how the referencing works, or at least even if you understand 90% of what to say and how to say it, could potentially make you feel a lot confident. But also the letting agency will trust you a lot more. So let's go through the first scenario now. Remember, this also comes with some experience and also how you communicate with the letting agents. So bearing in mind, yes, you do want to secure that unit, but in back of your mind, take that away. Don't think it's the first time you're doing it, because a lot of time, 90% of the time I speak to new operators who's just secured their first unit, and I ask them, Piers, and what was your hurdle? And they're like, Piers, my mind said that, this is what I can't do it because I feel I was new, but actually letting agency and stuff wouldn't know that, right? So having that experience is what's important. So let's go through scenario 1. Now, the first scenario, again, if you think about a standard procedure, depending on how you structure your company or how you structure your investment, you will have a company, right? So if you're investing through a company in the UK, it's a limited company. Again, depending on if you're on US market or Australia or different part, you will have some sort of limited company that you can open up. Now, once you've done that, your limited company will not have a 2 years account because you're very new to the investment game, right? So your letting agency, let's say that you did a viewing and they want to move ahead. You need to do an application through company let because your company is going to be the tenant or is going to be the tenant. But your company hasn't got the experience to pass the referencing, which means you can potentially now have either yourself as a guarantor, right? So you as a guarantor to your company that you've just started, but again, you've got to make sure you match their certain kind of earning threshold depending on the type of property you're going to have, the rental value, there potentially certain type of thresholds they're after. Secondly, or they will ask you to have somebody else to be a guarantor to that company. Now in this case, you might not be able to become a guarantor. Now, just to give you a heads up, every referencing company works differently and every letting agency works differently. But you having this knowledge would work out to be a lot more better with that conversation around letting agents going, hey, like, how does your letting, your referencing work? Can I become the guarantor to my company, or do you need somebody else to become a guarantor to the company? At the end of the day, you've still been a guarantor to your business, but that is kind of the stage one scenario. A lot of time in the UK, a lot of people do it this way, and they become the guarantor to their business. Now again, it comes with financial risk. Now this is not, again, I would always say it's not financial advice. You should always speak to your accountant, make sure that you choose the right legal advice, but this is kind of scenario we're talking on. Scenario 2. Now some agents might turn around and go, are you a homeowner? Because again, anyone who owns a property can still invest on a rent-to-rent strategy, right? Or rent-to arbitrage. So you own your own home and you're looking to get into rent-to-rent market. So in that case, again, having that conversation with the letting agent or the landlord saying, hey, just to let you know, I am the homeowner. I've got my own home, but because it's a company let that way running as a short-term rental and service accommodation, can I become the guarantor as being a homeowner, as well? So a lot of time, again, going back into the same thing, referencing company and letting agency, talking about different rules and regulation they've got within their system. But yes, you can do that. I've seen people who's got zero income, but they're actually a homeowner, or they've bought a property ages ago, again, they've retired, whatever, different ways they look at, and they are still a homeowner and they are now looking to invest in rent-to-rent. That is a potential scenario you can work with. Scenario 3. Now this is quite interesting because a lot of time, as you can imagine, some people have a lot of savings, right? If you're looking to invest, you might have a bit of savings that you've got to prove. Now, again, it's quite, I do this video because I want to make sure I educate you, but at the same time, I want to give you some of the potential conversation you could have with a letting agent and a landlord. Now, in this case, you can say to a landlord, what about savings, right? Can you take X amount of saving as a proof of guarantor, or passing the guarantor, or passing the referencing? So, I've seen one of my clients years back, about 3 years back, he actually passed his referencing with a certain amount of income, but also having extra amount of savings. At this moment in time, I think we're talking about in excess of £30,000 in the account for the last 6 months, which allowed him to pass the referencing, right? So again, sometimes having savings in your account for X amount of time could potentially have you pass the referencing, but also at the same time, it's having a conversation with a letting agent, go, hey, by the way, what do you think about this? I've got X amount of savings that I can potentially show that as a part of referencing process. So I hope this again gives you kind of an idea of what referencing companies are looking for right now. The last scenario I want to talk now, in this case, I'm thinking about, well, you've already had your personal guarantor to this new company that you're talking about, right? Which you want to be passing the referencing for. But what if you've got, there's some people I've spoken to previously where they've got company A, which, have been trading for the last 2 years. Now, in this case, I've explained how you can have a construction business for the last 2 years as a trading as a limited company, has done really well, make profit, you've got 2 years account. Now you can potentially ask the letting agent or the landlord to say, hey, I've got this company A, which is, been profitable for the last 2 years. I've got full proof of accounts. Can I please take that company as a guarantor to my recent company, which is fairly new? So again, having that knowledge, having that conversation is what you need right now. You don't know what's the best way that referencing is going to go through. You don't understand how that letting agent is specifically going to do that referencing, but having this kind of conversation will would ideally make you in a better position by saying, letting agent, hey, we understand this. How about if we go through this way? Would your referencing company accept it? Because at the end of the day, letting agents are only taking your information or sending you a referencing company link for you to be able to fill their application anyway. So reality is having that understanding, having that knowledge about the scenarios which could fit best into your business is going to work really well. So guys, I hope you understand the different scenarios that for you to go and understand what fits right for you, but then also take advantage of the knowledge that you're currently getting through this video to have those conversations with the right letting agents and the landlords. Now, recently, congratulations to my clients Jay and Chelsea, who's not only secured a unit, right? And in this case, I think it'll be good for you to understand how they passed their referencing was purely because, both had an amazing income. They actually just purchased a house within this process of learning about short-term rental investment, but also wanted to do an investing on the side. They got a unit in a location, bit tough. The first few weeks, again, because they go through my full consulting, we launched their property, quite quiet for the last maybe for the first 2 weeks, but then eventually they landed their first booking, and it's actually a direct booking. Because the OTA were so quiet, we ended up landing their first booking. I am gonna get them interviewed in my channel soon. They can share their experience, their challenges, their outcomes of, even referencing process that I'm gonna ask them through, and eventually that first big booking, which made them go, wow, it's all become worth it at the end. Gone through setup, took a lot of time going through, processing of systems, and eventually working with us to get that big book.
Just really, but the key thing is just ensuring that we can continually get a constant stream of guests that are booking us for, those longer term bookings.
Oh, wow, it's been a journey, hasn't it?
It has indeed. It has indeed.
God, it's just typical Peterborough. That's what's happened. Honestly, when it's happening, it's big. When it doesn't, it's like zero. But look, I think I'm more than happy at the moment. At least you've got a month booking. Because
there's obviously people that are on there for quite a bit less. That's the thing.
Yeah, you need to understand. You've already got a monthly booking.
We're
not desperate to get booking now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, true. Yeah.
So this is what I want you to think differently. Don't do what the market's doing, because then that way you're always going to follow the trend.
Yeah.
It's gone, well, we've now got a monthly booking, bit safe, right? We're going to be happy. Now when it comes, and I'm always going to say to you this, in your last 10 days of somebody checking out, if you've got an empty calendar, then you need to be slightly proactive in your marketing and advertising. Guys, I hope you enjoyed another Grow Your B&B video, short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share. And if you've got any questions like this, send me over in my Facebook, Instagram, and then I can answer them for you like I've done for this video. So guys, thank you so much for watching another Grow Your B&B video.